Hi guys, this is my Philodendron Scandens Brasil, and so the Brasil has a variegation of like I would say like a yellow green, like this. It's kind of a little, I don't know what kind of shade of yellow it is, but a yellow green or like a light green. Sometimes it just depends. And if you are new to variegated plants, it is technically a mutation and it's unstable. And that's why a lot of people who have actually fallen into the rabbit hole of variegated plants will tell you that the reason, well, for me anyway, I can't speak for everybody. One of the reasons why I completely love variegated plants, well, not all, but for most of them, is due to the fact that each leaf is very unique. So anyway, what I do use currently for watering this beautiful plant is going to be in the description section, just like all my social media accounts as usual. I hope you enjoy my video and the rest of it by hitting like, subscribe, and of course the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. So she sits about 5-6 feet away from an east-facing window on the second floor. She is also on a shelf that is adjustable. I would say about like 2 to 3 feet from the floor. And she is being currently watered every 8 days. I do check the top of the soil just to make sure she is not sopping wet or damp at all. When it comes to this particular plant, there is a difference between the regular Scandens or heartleaf, which is just all green, versus this. And, due from my personal experience, I have noticed that certain plants, when it comes to different variegations, it really isn't like a uniformed watering need. You really have to base it on that particular plant itself. I did just add her one rooted clipping that I had, and the roots were pretty impressive because I kept it in that growing pot for me a way too longer than I should have. It was sitting there for 4.5 months instead of 2 to 3 months. I think is good enough. I should have done that, but I was concerned because this is such a slow growing plant as a clipping for me. So I'm just going to share that info. So it's like very slow for me. I think the Philodendron, from my very, very short personal experience in regards to propagating them, can be kind of slow. And it could just be because it was only getting plant light. LED plant bulb light. It never got any kind of natural light. So that could be it too. But just so you know, that's my personal experience. And when I did try to take the entire thing out of the grower pot that I had, or my grower pot, the root system was intense. So I only was able to separate one, and then the rest is going to be my Brasil 2. So this one, I added that one, and I gave it a little bit of earthworm castings this morning too. And again, what I have been using and what I currently use with this particular plant will be linked in the description section. So do check that out. Let's just do a twirl for this plant so you can see how beautiful she is. And again, a variegated plant will have like something like this, an all green, but as you can see in the same vine, it has one with yellow. And this is a very, very new one that completely fully opened. How I can tell is because it's super shiny and the leaf is lighter colored than this one or even this one. And this is probably like one of the older leaves. Before when I first got it, because I don't really smash my plants around, so it never gets this from me. Let's twirl it again. So this one has definitely grown, as you can see, and these are probably the ones since I've gotten her. If you could see that, she's gotten long. And oh my God, look at how cute that is. That's adorable. I love like every size of this plant or philodendron. It just, you know, gotta be honest. A few years ago, when I started loving plants, probably longer than a few years ago, I would say over 5 years ago, I used to think variegated plants were the ugliest thing I've ever seen. The only variegated plant that I had before was a pothos, and it was the golden. And that was like my husband talked me into it. I didn't really like it at the beginning. We weren't married at the time. I didn't really like it in the beginning, and he talked me into it. And I remember we were debating at the store, and I said, I don't like it. It's got these weird marks. I hate it. And then he's like, well, you've never tried that. Maybe you can do a great job at it. And I did. But that was the only one for X amount of years. I didn't really fall in love with variegated plants until I would say like last year or 2 years ago, I think. Before all the, inflated prices went crazy. So I was like ahead of the crazy of people trying to get variegated plants just to get them. And it, like I said, it took me years to really appreciate the beauty. And now that I have, I completely love it. Like if this was 5 years ago, even 4 years ago, and I saw this plant, I would literally shudder and I would literally cringe and gag. But, now I've seen how beautiful she is, and I love the fact that each leaf is different. Like, look at this right here, right? And this one is kind of similar, but they're also very different. Do you see that? Do you see the difference? And that's just why I love it. And I love that's not the top reason though. The top reason that I love variegated plants is the pop of color. I always like a pop of color, and most of my variegated plants are like really, really colorful. I was hesitating on the Brasil, and I remember it was like, I really love my Philodendron Scandens heartleaf, just the plain green. And because I love it so much, I just kind of thought, I don't want to get another one because I have a really big one. So I said, why don't I just get the Brasil? And this was a time where the Brasil wasn't really like as expensive as it became. And I just kind of thought, why not? And I actually had a chance to also get like the Gabby, which is the white one. And I thought, I'm new to Philodendron. I'm not gonna, jump to the harder one, because you have to remember in regards to variegated plants, when it's white, it usually is more finicky than any of the other variegated ones. It's usually more high maintenance, it's usually more finicky, and it's usually harder, especially for someone who is new to variegated plants or in the specific species. So I didn't really want to overwhelm myself with that. And so I picked this, and I'm really, really glad that I did. I don't really know if in the future I'll get a Gabby. I'm really satisfied with what I have. I think I have a good amount of Philodendron Scandens for now. So, oh my God, look at that. It's over half that is like yellow-green. I love it. Just love it. Oh my God, it's 100% yellow-green. It's just beautiful. And this is another one right here. You see that? And the leaf is also like the shape is slightly different, but it's always going to be pointy. People have questions between a philodendron and a pothos. A pothos leaf is just not this pointy in the end. Philodendron does. It's just, that's the difference. And when it comes to the Scandens though, because they are very, very similar, but this has a skinnier end in the bottom and a more fuller in the top. That's why it's also called like a heart leaf. But there are certain leaves like this one in the top that isn't really kind of full on here. So it can be kind of confusing. I don't know what it is, but am I the only one that's nutty about it, that I love every single stage of the plant? I love it when it's still in the sheath, and this is what it's called. Someone actually taught me that. The sheath is this is the sheath, and this is like the new growth. For a philodendron, there's no um, really large sheath, I think. Like you can see here, these are the sheaths right here. That's the sheath, that's the sheath. And as soon as it starts to pop, it comes off. I'm just comparing to like my ficus. My ficus, the sheath doesn't really come off and just fall off until the leaf is about 80% open to 100%. And sometimes it even just dangles there, but philodendron is just beautiful. I really do hope, oh my God, I'm sorry. Squirrel. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I really do hope, though, that all the crazy madness of the inflation of the plant prices really stop soon, because people should be able to enjoy variegated plants because they're really, really beautiful. I actually had to educate one of my friends. Well, she's not really a really close friend. We kind of know each other through one of my best friends, and she's best friends with one of my best friends. And she's new to plants, and she said I inspired her. And she didn't know there's a variegated plant, you know, section of the plant world. And I had to educate her with that, because she was shocked on how she was looking at the Monstera, and she just got a Monstera, but she got a regular Monstera. And then people, you know the prices of Monstera Thai constellation, how it's incredibly high. And she was laughing about it, how she was able to get hers for like $30, I think. Hers was really, really tiny too. And then I had to explain to her, and she's like, it looks exactly the same as mine though. And I'm like, yeah, because it's the same plant, but this has variegation. I can tell that there's, and to be quite frank about it, the variegation was very, very minimal. So, and when you are a new plant lover or plant collector, you can't really tell. Like, that's something that you have to be more than a beginner, or at least be a beginner for a while, to understand the difference between a regular and even a very, very light variegated plant. So I had to explain it to her, and then she's just like, it took her a while to understand, and then she's like, I can't believe people pay for that. And I'm like, I completely get it. So anyway, enough with the chit chat, but this is her, and man. Another thing though, she is much more slower growing than my regular Philodendron Scandens, which is very, very typical. Obviously, the more green the plant have, if you don't know this, the less green a plant has, the less it will grow. And the only reason it will grow faster is if you provide more light. I have always put this away from a window due to, I remember the regular Scandens, when I put it close to a window, even an east-facing window, she was burning. So this has never burnt for me because I've never put it next to a window. So here she is, and she is just so beautiful. I love her so much. Love, love, love. If you guys want to chit chat about this particular plant, anything to do with this plant, if you want to just say hi back, but you can say hi in the comment section as well. If there's any tips, questions, anything to do with this particular plant, let me know down in the comment section. I always, always love hearing from you guys all the time. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.